Candace Avalos was a member of the Charter Commission that drastically changed Portland City government. Now she's been elected as a Portland City Councilor under the system that she helped develop. Avalos was the leading vote getter in District 1, representing Outer East Portland and including Portland International Airport. Candace Avalos will be stepping down as Executive Director of Verde, a nonprofit environmental advocacy group, next month, as she embarks on her new role as a Portland City Councilor. Candace Avalos, congratulations and welcome back to Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you.
Well, as I mentioned, you were on the Charter Commission that changed the system of government. You were elected through ranked choice voting. Did ranked choice voting work out the way you envisioned?
It did. I am very excited for the energy and optimism that ranked choice voting has brought to city council elections. I think when you look at the full 12 folks, it really is such a vast diversity of experiences and identities. And I think that the voters really felt that they could express their true options and that, those were successful. So I was actually really surprised to see the outcome in a very good way.
In your district, what is the major priority, or what are the major priorities in District 1?
I think over the last year, those of us running in District 1 have been consistently pointing out how our district has been left behind over and over, whether that is in infrastructure, in political representation. And I think that, East Portlanders are looking to their new representatives to strengthen their voice in City Hall and see those investments that they've long been promised finally be delivered.
Why do you think District 1 has been overlooked in your view?
District 1 disproportionately has lower income Portlanders. Almost half of the city's children live in District 1. The life expectancy is 10 years less than every other district. These are, of course, they sound just like numbers and stats, but the real impact on District 1 residents is that they feel that they don't have infrastructure that they need, that a thriving city needs. And so I think that they're excited to see that change.
How do you prioritize those particular interests in your district with the overall vision of the city?
I think when we lift up District 1, every other district will get lifted up as well. And so, they are going to be looking, our residents in District 1 are going to be looking to us to champion District 1 and make the case to the other districts when it comes to things like allocating resources of why we need to invest in certain parts of the city that have long been denied those investments. So I'm hoping that we can help champion that as three, I guess, of 12.
A former Multnomah County Commissioner and Senator Wyden staffer Loretta Smith, Jamie Dunphy, who worked for Senator Jeff Merkley, and former City Commissioner Nick Fish. They're experienced players in the public sector. Those are the two councilors that you will be working with in your district. Have you talked with them yet, and how do you see that working relationship?
Yeah, I not only have talked with them after the election, but definitely throughout this last year. And I think that's the other great thing that ranked choice voting brought forth was a collaborative spirit. It really gave us incentives to work together and campaign together. And so I think ultimately, we have already been building this relationship that will only improve our relationship now as official electeds.
How do you see the homeless crisis in Portland? And do you see that issue in District 1?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that just, we talk a lot about the homeless crisis on the streets of downtown, but the folks that are getting pushed or swept out of downtown are ending up on the streets of East Portland and then forgotten like the rest of the residents of East Portland. So I think we feel it really a lot in East Portland, and I'm hoping that we can elevate our voice on what are the solutions that will affect our district compared to other districts as we're addressing homelessness.
What do you think about the relationship between the city and Multnomah County, especially through the Joint Office of Homeless Services? The current city council has basically punted the decision on whether to stay in that contract with the county for the joint office to you as the new city council. So yeah. How do you see that relationship, and what do you think needs to be fixed?
I am really excited that we are going to get a reset of leadership, and I hope that will help reset our relationship with the county. At the end of the day, we need to work together to solve this problem, and so I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to look at the contract, look at the outcomes that we are setting together, and also understanding what are each of our responsibilities as a city and county. I think those discussions will be critical to deciding how we move forward together, but I think it is important in general that we move forward together.
A lot lot of people say, well, this should have happened a long time ago. I mean, the disconnect between the city and the county has been going on for a while, especially on the issue of homelessness. So what is it going to take to break through that and get both the city and the county on the same page?
I think a big part of that change is going to be the fact that our city councilors are now going to have a legislative role. When they were busy managing bureaus, they're in the day-to-day kind of executive bureaucratic type of leadership. Now we're going to be charged with setting a policy agenda that much more aligns with how the county operates. And so I think now our forms of government are going to have a lot more synergy, and I'm hoping that will result in more coordination and helping to rebuild our relationship together.
We've talked about your specific issues in District 1, but for anything to pass the new city council, you're going to need 6 other people, 6 other councilors to get to that 7, which is the majority vote. So how do you see the different districts working together, the councilors from the different districts working together in order to get things done for the overall city?
Yeah, I think what's important about the districts and why Portlanders really were crying for that is we really want people that are making decisions on a citywide level that can have a neighborhood view, right? And so being able to spend time in our districts, talk to our constituents, assess what are the different issues that we have compared to other districts, and then what are the things that we have that are the same, those kinds of decisions then being made as a full council will be influenced by the perspective of all the geographic districts. So I think that's what Portlanders wanted, and I'm excited about what that's going to look like and how we govern together.
Were you surprised by the election of Keith Wilson as mayor?
Was I surprised? I don't know if surprise is the right word. I think it was very interesting to see how ranked choice voting was playing out on the mayor level versus on the city level, because, you know, on the city level, we're electing 3 people versus 1 person for the mayor. So kind of watching those results come out, I was very curious. I think, you know, we're in a moment where folks are feeling frustrated, and Keith Wilson being someone who is bringing an outside perspective, I think was very attractive to Portlanders. I've known him for a couple years. We actually both ran in 2020 for city council, and so I've built a working relationship with him, and I'm eager to see what his vision looks like for Portland.
Yeah, about 30 seconds left. He says that he can solve the unsheltered homeless crisis within a year and I don't know if you know much about his plan, but he just talked about, you know, having day shelters, having churches, community organizations help shelter people. What do you think about that overall, briefly?
I think overall, you know, the things that he is suggesting are some tools in a larger toolbox. And so it's going to be our responsibility to work together with the mayor. I think it's important, too, that the mayor's office is being collaborative with the council because we have those extra responsibilities. So I'm excited about his vision and eager to help shape it with my voice.
Candace Avalos, again, congratulations, and thanks for being on Eye on Northwest Politics.
Thank you.